machines that power America's progress to everyday conveniences for your home, you can put your confidence in General Electric. Fred Waring and the Pennsylvanians for General Electric. A full hour of musical enjoyment representing one of America's great industrial families and planned for your pleasure by Fred Waring.
Hello, everybody, and thanks again for inviting us in. We've brought along some friends tonight, but even if we crowd the living room a little bit, don't send the children to bed as yet, because your extra guests are small, too, and will hardly mind sitting on the floor. You'll see, because later in the show we are forsaking the usual magic of General Electric and its wonderland of modern living for the wonderland of Alice, the March Hare, and the Mad Hatter. Yeah. Tonight, through the enthusiastic cooperation of Walt Disney and his staff, we're presenting the delightful music from the motion picture Alice in Wonderland for the first time in television, and we're introducing you to Alice herself, Kathy Beaumont, and the Cheshire Cat, Sterling Holloway, who came along to help us. Now is the time to gather the children around you, because the promised moment has arrived. The premiere of the wonderful songs from Walt Disney's latest production, Alice in Wonderland. To start us off on the right foot, here now is the man who knows more about the new Alice than anybody else, because he created her, Walt Disney.
Hello, Fred. Well, as you can imagine, we're all steamed up out here over Alice in Wonderland. It's about the greatest adventure in picture making that we've ever had. It's always a challenge bringing a great story classic to the screen, giving visual form to characters and places that have only existed in the imagination. But it's the kind of challenge we enjoy. As you know, there's been 3 girls in my professional life: Snow White, Cinderella, and now Alice. And believe me, they're all different. Snow White was a kind, simple little girl who believed in wishing and waiting for her Prince Charming to come along. On the other hand, Cinderella here was more practical. She believed in dreams all right, but she also believed in doing something about them. When the Prince Charming didn't happen to come along, she went right over to the palace and got him. And now Alice. You know, some people say the mind of a child is more complex and curious than that of an adult. And in this case, I think it's true. Now, while the other 2 girls were concerned mainly with romance, little Alice here is curious about anything and everything. To me, Alice is a great deal like children today. Bright, eager, curious about places and people. It's this curiosity that gets her into all those fabulous adventures in Wonderland. I think we've been able to capture that same wondering, curious, childlike quality about Alice. But here, maybe I can show you what I mean. These are some early animation sketches out of the scene where Alice meets the caterpillar.
Who are you?
Well, I hardly know, sir. I've changed so many times since this morning, you see.
I do not see. Explain yourself.
Well, I'm afraid I can't explain myself, sir, because I'm not myself, you know.
I do not know.
Well, I can't put it any more clearly, for it isn't clear to me.
You? Who are you?
Well, don't you think you ought to tell me who you are first?
Well, there's a rough idea. Now, Fred, I don't want to hold the show up any longer. Catherine Beaumont, the little English girl who was the inspiration for the artists and whose voice you just heard, is back there with you. And I'm looking forward to your premiere of the score from Alice in Wonderland. So I'll be seeing you.
Thank you so much, Walt. You and your entire staff have been simply perfect about cooperating with us in the preparation of our television idea of Alice. And helping us with the scenery and the costumes, Mary Blair did that. And it was especially nice of you to send Alice, but Alice has not yet arrived. I'm somewhat concerned about...
Oh, dear, I'm late. Oh, my fur and whiskers, I'm late.
The rabbit is here, and a couple of chessmen, and...
Off with his head, off with her head, off with their heads.
And the queen is here, and her
Twinkle,
courtier...
twinkle, little bat. How I wonder where you're at.
The dormouse is here, and a few I don't seem to
The time
recognize.
has come. I've always said to talk of many things.
Of shoes and ships and sealing wax and cabbages and kings.
Please, if you please. The walrus and the carpenter are here, and almost a hand there.
When I was at school, we had a master who was an old turtle. We used to call him Tortoise.
Now, why did you call him the tortoise when he was not a tortoise?
We used to call him Tortoise because he taught us.
Please, Mad Hatter, quiet. Quiet, all of you.
Really, you're very dull.
We
Very
cannot
dull.
find Alice. We're in trouble. We cannot
You can't find Alice?
No, we cannot find
We'll
Alice.
find her for you.
How will you find her?
Where did they go? This gets curiouser and curiouser. I'm afraid I'm all mixed up. I think I must have changed several times since I got up this morning.
'Twas thrilling, and the slidey toves did gyre and gimble in the wave.
Who's that? I passed nobody on the road, and I was hurrying too. I'm quite sure nobody will walk as fast as I do. Although he'd have been here first.
All mimsy were the boragos and the mome rat outplayed.
Now, where in the world do you suppose that came from?
Lose something?
Oh, I mean, well, that is no. Well, I mean, I was just wondering.
Oh, that's quite all right. 'Twas brillig and the slidey tove did gyre and gimble in the wave.
Why, you're a cat.
A Cheshire cat. 'Twas brillig and the slidey tove.
Oh, don't go, please.
Oh, you like my singing? Why, third chorus. Could I have music, please? 'Twas brillig, and the slidey toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. All mimsy were the boragos and the mome rat outbrave. Well, that was the third chorus. Shall I try for a fourth?
Oh, no, thank you, but I just wanted to know which way I ought to go.
Well, that depends, doesn't it, on just where you want to get to.
Oh, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as
Well, then it really doesn't matter which way you go. I have some friends who go that way, and then others go that way. But as for me, myself personally, I always take the shortcut.
Well, as long as I get somewhere.
Oh, little girl, you're bound to do that. He went that way. Who did? The White Rabbit.
Oh, he did?
He did what?
Who went that way?
Who did?
The White Rabbit.
What rabbit?
But didn't you just say?
Oh, 'twas a brillig and the slimy toe wetted.
What?
And Gimble in the wave. Can you stand on your head?
Oh!
'Twas brillig and the slide. I did
Figure this out all for myself. Let's see. When one is lost, I suppose it's good advice to... Well, I suppose it's good advice to stay where you are until someone comes for you.
That's good advice. But you haven't followed it, you know. If you'd only listened earlier, little girl, you wouldn't be where you are now.
Yes, I suppose that's right. I give myself very good advice, but I very seldom follow it. That explains the trouble that I'm always in. Be patient is very good advice, but the waiting makes me curious. And I'd love the change, should something strange begin. I'm sure that I know right from wrong, and I have the best intentions. Life should be such a merry song. But no, not so. I give myself very good advice, but I very seldom follow it. Will I ever learn to do the things I should?
Yes. Well, that was very nice. And you know, you're a very nice little girl. And if you really want to find the White Rabbit, why don't you ask the Mad Hatter?
The Mad Hatter?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't.
Well, then you could always ask the March Hare in that direction.
Oh, thank you very much.
Of course, you know, he's mad, too.
But I don't want to go among mad people.
Oh, my dear child, you can't help that. We're all mad here. Everybody's mad. You might have noticed that I am not quite myself. 'Twas a brillig and the slimy toe.
People here are like that. I must try not to upset them.
Oh, hello. Hello.
No room.
But I thought there was plenty of room.
Have some milk?
Thank you, but I don't see any.
Here isn't any.
Oh, it wasn't very polite of you to offer it.
But it wasn't very polite of you to sit down without being asked either.
Oh, I'm very sorry. I didn't know it was your table. But there are a great many more from 3 places.
Your hair needs cutting.
Oh, no.
Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder where you're at. Up above the world so high, like a peachway in the sky.
Who are they?
Waxworks weren't made to be looked at for nothing.
If you think we're waxworks, you ought to pay.
Contrariwise. Thank you, Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
Oh, why did they do that?
This is an unbirthday present.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
I'm not offended.
I mean, what is an unbirthday present?
An unbirthday present is a present you get when it's not your birthday.
Oh, I prefer birthday presents.
Silly, you don't know what you're talking about. How many days are there in a year?
365.
How many birthdays do you have?
1.
Subtract 1 from 365, and how many are left?
364, of course.
That shows you that there are 364 days to get unbirthday presents.
Oh, like today, for instance.
Of course.
Merry birthday, little girl.
A very merry birthday to you.
To me.
To you.
Gee.
A very merry birthday to you. To you. It's great to drink to someone, and I guess that you will do. A very merry birthday to you.
It really would be pleasant if you'd send a little present to me.
To you?
To me.
To you?
Now, don't get apprehensive. It doesn't have to be expensive, you see. To me. A 20-carat diamond ring would suit me to a T.
Oh.
A very merry birthday to me.
We'll give you one last year.
A very merry birthday to us. To us. A very merry birthday to us. To us.
If there are no objections, let it be unanimous. A very merry birthday to us.
Oh, hello. Am I late? I'm so sorry about the whole thing, but I think, we ought to have a party to a very special party.
You mean?
I do. Now, I hate to be specific, but this fellow is terrific.
You mean?
Oh, yes, indeed, I do. This fellow is so wonderful. Let's treat him royally. A very merry birthday to who? To me.
A very merry birthday to all. To all. A very merry birthday to all. To all. Let's have a celebration, hire a band and rent a hall. A very merry birthday, a very merry birthday, a very merry birthday to all.
Oh, that was lovely.
I need a clean cup. Let's all move over one. Everybody move one. Sit down now. Let's all move two. I need another clean cup. Two, let's do it. Two, let's move over two now. All right. Let's move two more. Two more. Let's move two more. Here we go.
Well, now, I don't see. Is this...
Oh, quiet, little girl. Oh, here's an unbirthday present for you.
Thank you.
Quiet. If I were you, I would not talk so much.
Why?
Because I heard the Queen say just yesterday that you ought to be beheaded.
What for?
Oh, I don't know what for. She didn't say. Mind your own business. Read your book. Oh, I'm pale.
Oh, this is all in some language I don't understand.
That is in Jabberwocky.
Oh, may I borrow this mirror, please, for a minute?
Well, if you must, yes.
Oh, this is a looking-glass book, of course.
Of course.
When I put the mirror this way, the words all come the right way again. Now, let me see. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the...
Wave. Sounds strangely familiar.
Was brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. From Whimsy, where the borough and the moon rats are gray. Was brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. From Whimsy, where the borough and the moon rats are gray. If it was, it could be. If it were, it would be. But as it isn't,
It's quaint.
'cause as it is,
It ain't.
was brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. For Mimsy was the bottles and the moon rats are gray.
see?
Oh, yes, certainly.
Oh, thank you. It's a wonderful book, isn't it? Huh?
Very good.
Oh, it's a lovely book. I think we ought to have something about it explained. It's very bewildering to me.
Well,
It's not really bewildering.
Oh, it isn't?
Now, I tell you, we've got some sketches here. Would you like
we
to
have?
see them?
Oh, I'd love to see.
Sure.
But before we do the sketches, would you tell me what's the meaning of brillig?
4 o'clock in the afternoon.
4 o'clock in the afternoon. Brillig is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. What about, is it Tobes?
Toves, yes. Well, a tove is something like a badger and something like a lizard and something like a corkscrew.
What about a Boragov?
Well, a boragov is a sort of a thin, emancipated-looking bird with
Emancipated.
feathers sticking out all around, kind of a live mop.
What about the momrat?
Well, isn't that something like a green pig or something?
Yes, that's the green. That's the rat part. The mom, I wouldn't know at all.
Right. Did you know that we're recording these songs?
Oh, you are?
Yes, yes, we're making a new album for Decca.
Oh.
Decca has nothing to do with Momrat or Brillig. Now, shall we talk about these...
The sketches?
Yeah, the sketches.
Oh.
Is it true that you act the scenes out completely before the camera? That is, before the artists have a chance, the cartoonists have a chance to do their work?
Yes, that's for the inspiration of the artist. So
The
that they
inspiration.
can draw, yes.
I see. Then, what do the very first sketches...
Well, look,
do?
here's
Oh, these are the ones you meant.
yeah,
I see.
this is a very rough sketch, you
Oh,
see.
isn't that nice? Huh?
In the very beginning, the ideas that the different artists get. And then from this, you see, you go to another Alice. That's a little more advanced, you
I
see.
see. Isn't that nice?
That's cute.
Isn't that-
That's you.
That's our little Kathy, huh? Then what happened?
Then the sets. You see, this is the background for the set.
Yeah.
Isn't that pretty?
Isn't that charming?
This is the live action right here.
Yes,
The
this
live.
is the one
Oh,
you were
there's
talking
our
about.
Kathy
See, that's
impersonator.
Alice, and
Isn't
that's
that
the
cute?
fellow who does the caterpillar. And from this inspiration, you see,
And there's the
comes
finished, the
the
finished
finished
set and
product.
drawings. Isn't that wonderful? Did you ever think you'd look like that, Kathy?
Well, I wasn't sure.
Oh, isn't it
But they've
wonderful?
really done a good job, don't you think
Oh,
so?
just a wonderful. You, of course, know Sterling Holloway and Kathy Beaumont. 150 million people are very anxious to see this picture.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
easy.
You do.
If-
Do you suppose it might be chance for them to see just a slim portion of it, maybe before we
Certainly,
get to
certainly. May I do a card trick?
a
please?
card trick?
Yes, please. May
Well,
I
you
have
of all people
the
doing
seven
card
of
tricks.
spades, please?
Seven of
The seven of
spades.
spades. Well, so it's the jack of diamonds.
That's a big-
Have you an unbirthday present for Fred Waring, please? Here you are, Fred.
Oh, thank
That's
you
for
so
you.
much. This is a real present,
It is a real from Alice in Wonderland.
It is really?
A real.
Isn't that wonderful? Thank you so much. Now, what is it?
It's the dance of the cards.
The dance of the cards?
You won't see this in the beautiful color that it is because television doesn't have color yet.
But you give us time. We'll have the color. Rush this quickly to the control room and get that on quickly
Quickly, my
so
good
that we
man.
can see the dance of the cards. And we'll play the music for it, and they just show that picture. Is that the idea?
All right,
Isn't this
yes.
wonderful? I think it's so nice of
Yakety,
Walt.
yakety, 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 yak. Too much talk. Let's see the film.
All right. Well,
Well, that was it.
Sterling and Alice, or shall we say Kathy and...
Cheshire.
Cheshire, yes. Well, it doesn't matter. You're confusing no matter what happens. If the rest of the picture is as wonderful as that, I can hardly wait. One of these songs in the Alice in Wonderland score captures the whole idea of Alice in one title and one lyric. It's this song called In a World of My Own. We'd like to do it for you.
Rabbits, good breeze howdy do bird.
Howdy do bird.
Everyone will have a dozen bluebirds. Within that world of my own, no more trouble, for the greatest problem would be things a child can understand. I keep wishing it could be because my world would be a wonderland. In Wonderland, where is the path to Wonderland? Over the hill or here or there.
I wonder where.
Well, of course, we're most proud to have premiered these songs from Alice in Wonderland. They have been arranged by Harry Simeon and Holly Aids, Charlie Naylor, and Keith Texture. The Mad Hatter was Lumpy Branham, the March Hare, Gordon Goodman, the Dormouse, Gloria Mudell, the Queen, Hugh Fleming, the Jabberwocky, Mark Broll, the White Rabbit, Johnny Pedersen, Tweedledee and Dahmer, Polly McClintock, and Mike Doty, and the Boy with the Sword, Nadine Gay. The Walrus, Herman Hennig, Carpenter, Ray Sachs, the Duchess, Betty Reynolds. Our thanks, of course, to Kathy Beaumont, Sterling Holloway, and Mary Blair, and to Walt Disney himself. Next week, we present Ringwald's Song of Easter and the First Communion. See you then. In the meantime, remember that the Red Cross needs your help. Give during March so that the Red Cross may give from January to December. Good night.
The Fred Waring Show was directed by Bob Banner. Assisting Fred Waring as conductor was Fred Cully. The settings by Howard Bay and Mary Blair. Choreography by Nadine Gay. The lighting by Ralph Holmes. Script by Jay Johnson. Now, this is Bill Bivens inviting you to be with us again next Sunday when General Electric again presents The Fred Waring Show.
Portions of the preceding program are on motion picture film.